Assalamu alaikum. We're going to go over lesson number 6, and lesson number 6 talks about Jumlatul Ismiya, sentences that begin with ism or a noun. We have seen that complete sentence is called a Jumla, lesson 3. Remember that sentences are of two types, Jumlatul Ismiya and Jumlatul Fi'liya. Jumlatul Ismiya is a sentence which begins with a ism, as it's a jumla, like sentence of ism, sentence of fi'l, basically that's what it means. So for example, Zaidun Hasanun, it's starting off with a name which is ism. Zaidun Hasanun means Zaid is handsome. Jumlatul fi'liya is something that begins with a verb or fi'l. Hasanu Zaidun, Hasuna Zaidun, Zaid became handsome. Or anything, daraba Zaidun, Zaid hit. Fa'ala Zaidun, Zaid did. Akala Zaidun, Zaid ate, and so on. Here and there followed some rules of Jumlatul Ismiya, while failure will be discussed in lesson 14. So we're going to go over Jumlatul Ismiya now in this lesson. The first part of the Jumlatul Ismiya is generally definite. So first part is Zaid over here. They're saying that this part right here, Zaid, is usually definite, meaning you know who this subject is, whether it's a person or a thing. It should have it should be identifiable. It should be definite. And the second part should usually be nakira, like Hasanun means handsome, or Jamilun means beautiful, or any kind of characteristics or sifa. They don't have to be ma'rifah, they don't have to be known, they could be definite. Right here, Zaidun is definite and Hasanun is indefinite. That's what they're saying. Next page. The one difference, note one, the difference between Jumlatul Ismiya and Murakkab Tawsifi is that in the latter, meaning in Murakkab Tawsifi, both parts are the same in being definite and indefinite. Second part is, okay, so the difference in the Jumla Ismiya is that in Jumlatul Ismiya, the second part is indefinite, meaning Hasanun, Zaidun Hasanun. Hasanun part is indefinite. Whereas in Murakkab Tawsifi, the adjective, I guess, the characteristics phrase, both of them are, they have to match. So what ends up happening is, if we say right here, Rajulun, it says if an indefinite noun takes place in the word of Zaidun, you say Rajulun Hasanun. Like Rajulun could be any man. Or the second word Hasanun becomes definite by alif lam to it, Zaidunil Hasanu. Then it becomes a phrase. It's no longer a jumla. So why? Because you say Rajulun Hasanun, it means a handsome man. Or if it says Zaidun, the Zaidunil Hasanu, Zaid the handsome. So over here, the meaning of this becomes, after adding alif lam to the Hasan, it becomes Zaid the handsome. So meaning it's incomplete. Zaid the handsome what? There's nothing totally expressed or understood by that. And again, Rajulun Hasanun right here again, a handsome man. A handsome man what? It's not a complete sentence. A handsome man did what? Doing what? It's not complete. So if you say Ar-Rajulu Hasanun, the man is handsome, then it's complete sentence. Then it's a sentence, no longer a phrase. So again, so the note they're trying to say, the reason it becomes a Jumlatul Ismiya, I guess the reason it becomes qualifiable, it becomes qualifiable for a Jumla, a complete sentence, if it portray or convey a complete meaning. So Ar-Rajulu Hasanun, the man is handsome. This is a complete sentence. Versus saying Rajulun Hasanun, a handsome man. So it's not complete. Or if you say Ar-Rajulu Al-Hasanu, Ar-Rajulu Al-Hasanu, the handsome man. So the handsome man what? Same thing like here, Zaidun Al-Hasanu. It doesn't really fulfill a statement. Next, however, when the second part of the Jumlatul Ismiya is not a word that can become an adjective of a noun, it is permissible for the second part also to be definite. So for example, Ism al-Alam, Zamir, and Ism al-Ishara. When the second part of a Jumla Ismiya, when it cannot become adjective of a noun. Let's take an example. Ana Yusufu, I am Yusuf. So second part, it cannot become an adjective of a noun. It cannot become a characteristics because you're saying Ana is myself and Yusuf is also a name. It's not a characteristics. Then you can then it is fine. It is permissible for the second part to be also definite. So because Yusuf is a name, so again Yusuf is definite, and our ruling on top we said that in Jumlatul Ismiya second part has to be indefinite. But when the second part of this Jumlatul Ismiya that begins with a ism or a name, second part, if that is also a definite which cannot become an adjective or a characteristics, then it is fine. So Ana is ism and Yusuf is also ism. Yusuf cannot become an adjective because it's not a characteristics, it is a name. So then in this case definiteness, making this definite is fine. It doesn't have to be indefinite. It's permissible. Also it's permissible to insert a separating pronoun like a zamir, like huwa, hiya, things like that, between the mubtada and the khabar. Mubtada is basically, they should have put it on the first page, but again first part is called mubtada, second part is called the predicate or the khabar. Okay, examples. Ar-rajulu, the man is pious. So we could say ar-rajulu ar-rajulu was salihu. If you just said ar-rajulu as-salihu, it would mean the without the huwa. If you say ar-rajulu as-salihu, it would mean the pious man. The pious man, it's not a complete sentence. But if you say ar-rajulu huwa as-salihu, the man is pious. The man huwa, the man, basically the man, he is pious. It's saying huwa as-salihu. If you say huwa as-salihu, that's a complete sentence. Huwa as-salihu, he the pious. Actually that's still not complete sentence. You got to put it as is. It's just follow this rule, I guess. It's also permissible to insert a separating pronoun between the subject and the predicate. So ar-rajulu huwa as-salihu, the man is pious. Next one, the men are pious. Ar-rijalu hum as-salihuna. So it's a little confusing over here, but just follow along, I guess, and then you'll understand better later. So if we are gonna say ar-rijalu salihuna, that is a complete sentence. That would mean the men are pious. But if you say the first and the second part of these words as is with the definiteness, with the attachment of alif lam, ar-rijalu as-salihuna. So ar-rijalu as-salihuna, the men, the pious men, it will be the pious men. As soon as you put the word or the zamir hum or huwa in the middle, the word changes and it becomes definite again. It becomes jumlatul ismiya again. Ar-rijalu humus salihun, the men are pious. So the men, they are pious. The literal translation is the men, they are pious. So the men are pious. Next page, 66. If the pronoun is removed from here, these sentences will, so you cannot remove. So the condition is this, that if you want to use alif lam for the subject and alif lam for the khabar, the predicate, then you must have a zamir in the middle. If you remove the zamir, then it will become murakkab tawsifi, a phrase. It's not going to be a sentence anymore. Note number 2. In Arabic, there is no sign for the word is as in English. This word is understood from the sentence. Therefore, Zaidun alimun means Zaid is learned, although the word is not there. Number 25. However, the verb yakunu can provide meaning of is. So kana yakunu could have some sort of meaning. We'll learn this later. Number 3. The first part of Jumlatul Ismiya is called mubtada. Okay, the subject. 26. In English, the subject of a sentence is a word or phrase that refers to the person or thing that performs an action. So mubtada is the subject, while the second part is called khabar, the predicate. 27. In English, the predicate refers to the word or word that says something about the subject but are not part of it. Okay, so subject that performs something, an action, and khabar is or the predicate that say something about the subject but not part of the subject. Generally, mubtada and khabar are in halatul rafa, Halatul Raf'a mean is in that their condition ends with Dhamma at the end. Number 28, a detailed discussion in this case follows in lesson 10. Okay, number 5 here. The predicate conforms to the subject in number and gender. So predicate meaning the second part of the khabar will conform to the mubtada in number, as in like wahid, tasniya, jama, and gender, muzakkar and muannas, as is the case of adjective, just like in the adjective. However, when the subject is jam'a ghayr fa'ilin or jam'u ghayr aqilin, the plural of a non-intelligent being. I've gone over this, I think, on one of the previous lessons, lesson 4 or 5. The predicate is generally singular feminine. So if the mubtada, the first part, is a ghayr aqil, for example, al-anhuru, like the rivers, and now you want to put a khabar for it, al-anhuru, like they're wide, the rivers are wide, for example. Wasi'atun, it will be, instead of being wasi'un, wasi'ani, wasi'una, it will, because it's a ghayr aqil, for al-anhuru, the rivers are wide, it will be wasi'atun, singular feminine. That's what they're trying to say here. That is still jumlatul ismiyah. Next page. Examples of jumlatul ismiyah. Ar-rajulu sadiqun, the man is truthful. Singular masculine intelligent. Ar-rijalu, I'm sorry, ar-rajulani sadiqani, the two men are truthful. Dual masculine intelligent. Okay. Ar-rijalu sadiquna, the men are truthful. Al-mar'atu sadiqatun, the woman is truthful. Al-mar'atani sadiqatani, the two women are truthful. An-nisa'u sadiqatun, the women are truthful, feminine, intelligent, and all of that. Okay, these are intelligent beings, not ghayri aqil, they're aqil. Ar-rihun, this is, we have ghayri aqil. So ar-rihu shadidatun, so this is singular feminine, non-intelligent type of subject is non-intelligent, it's feminine, that's why we have shadidatun. Even if you have a jama of right here we'll have jama. So if you have ar-rihani shadidatani, the two winds are severe, and then for the jama ar-riyahu, jama is the winds, shadidatun, again we're using singular feminine form for the predicate here. Note 3. In these examples, if the definite articles alif lam is added to the second part or it is removed from the first part, all these verbs will become murakkab tawsifi, adjective phrases. So you're saying if you remove, if alif lam is, in these examples, if the definite article alif lam is added to the second part, if there's any of them, for example, if we say ar-rajulu sadiqu, then it will be the truthful man. If we say ar-rihu shadidatu, the severe wind, then it will become of course murakkab tawsifi, it will be phrase. It says or it is removed from the first part. Even the first part, if it doesn't have alif lam for the ar-rajulu, like rajulun sadiqun, a truthful man, rihun shadidatun, a severe wind. So this is not portraying or this is not conveying a full sentence statement, so this is not going to be jumla anymore. Number 6, if there are two subjects and they are of different types, one is masculine and the other is feminine, the predicate will be masculine. So if there are two mubtadas and one of them is mudhakkar, the other is muannas, the khabar will be mudhakkar. So like al-ibnu wal-ibnatu hasanani, instead of being hasanatani, or hasanani, will take the form of the masculine. Number 7, the subject and predicates are sometimes singular and sometimes they are compounds or plural. Actually not plural, sometimes they are phrase. The examples of singular have passed. Under below we'll see the examples of murakkab. So ar-rajulu tayyibu means the good man. Now the khabar comes in, hadirun, the good man is present. The subject is murakkab tawsifi. So this part, these two words, they are the phrase, that's the murakkab tawsifi. Ar-rajulu tayyibu. Now but if you could say if we say ar-rajulu hadirun, the man is present, if we just say this part and that part right here, these two parts, that's also jumla ismiya. So just so you guys know. Next is Zaidun rajulun tayyibun. Zaid is a good man. If we say Zaidun rajulun, then it is a complete sentence. Or if we say Zaidun tayyibun, that is also a complete sentence. But if we say Zaidun, actually, if we say rajulun tayyibun, a good man, that is incomplete. That is a murakkab tawsif. That's because the rajulun here, it could be any man. It's nakira. So that's what this is. For the first part, the first example, the subject or mubtada is murakkab tawsifi. Ar-rajulu tayyibu, the good man. That is murakkab tawsifi. It's not a complete sentence. For the second example, rajulun tayyibun, that's the murakkab tawsifi. So that's number 7. Number 8, by adding ma or laysa to a jumlatul ismiya, it changes from positive to negative. Most often, b, the kasra is added to the predicate, which changes the case to the genitive halatul jar. So, example, ma zaidun bi alimin. Zaid is not learned. Ma or laysa just negated. So most often ba is added to make the predicate of the khabar in halatul jar or genitive. Basically, you're gonna get this kasra. I'rab will be kasra at the end of the word where the ba is placed right here. So ba is right here. Bi alimin. So and another laysa zaidun bi rajulin qabihin. So this b right here, this ba right here, it is having an impact in i'rab at the end of the word, not only in rajulun but also in qabihun. So because of having this ba right here, ba kasra, that is making this entire the last two words into halatul jar, it would be rajulun qabihun. Instead it became rajulin qabihin. Same thing with the Surah Fatiha when we say Alhamdu lillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Those i'rab with the kasra, Alhamdu, it happens because of the line there. La kasra li, Alhamdu li Rabbil Alameen. Instead of being Rabbul Alameen, Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman, instead of being Ar-Rahmanur Rahim, it is becoming Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, because we had in the first sentence there's a li, la kasra. So that made these words, the following words, I guess, halat al-rafa. Number 9, very often the word inna is prefixed to jumlatul ismiya. As a result, the subject or the predicate changes to halat al-nasab. By default, every word, as you know, is supposed to be in the form of halatul rafa with dhamma at the end of the word, but it becomes halatul nasab, meaning fatha at the end if jumla ismiya begins with inna. For example, innal arda mudawwaratun. Undoubtedly, the earth is round. So having this inna over here caused the i'rab of arda right here, caused the i'rab of arda to becomes arda with a fatha. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit right here. So ardu, it was ardu, but having this inna, it became arda. But the last word, the khabar of it, the predicate, it remained as is. Later we will learn that the first part is called mubtada inna, ism inna and khabar inna. Okay, note number 4, to create the meaning of interrogation in a sentence, basically asking a question, we can add a hal or hamza on the beginning of the sentence. For example, instead of saying Zaidun alimun, Zaidim is a learned person, a knowledgeable person, you could say Zaidun alimun, is Zaid learned. Likewise, Ar-Rajulu alimun, the man is an alim or a teacher. We could just say Hal But this is another rule that if hal comes before uh, alif lam, it will be halir rajulu. Halir rajulu alimun, is the man learned or knowledgeable or scholar or teacher. There's a lot of multiple meanings. Vocabulary list number 5. In a question, or means so if the actually, you know, it says it within a question, if is used, it will mean or. But or also has another meaning. It's called it's like it's alif and waw. It's called aw. Aw means or, but also means or in a question. Baqaratun, baqarun or baqaratun, cow. Bala, certainly. Why not? New, jadidun, jiddan, very much or very. Jalisun, qa'idun, sitting. These are also verb. So this is I think that's ism fa'il, jalisun, or yeah, ism fa'il. I think jalisun, somebody who's sitting. The fail here is jalasa, yajlisu, and qa'ada yaq'udu, I believe. So those are the verbs, but this is being used in this form. So it's jalisun, ism fa'il, qa'idun, sitting. Harisun, guard or sentry. Shatun, sheep. Filun, elephant. Qa'imun, standing. Qama yaqumu, that's the verb. Qadimun, old. Kalbun, dog. Mashhurun, ma'rufun, famous. Ma'rufun, yeah, known, famous. Okay. Mu'minun, believer. Na'am, yes. Dakhmun, thick. Dakhmun, thick. The nominative detached pronouns. الضمائر الضمائر المرفوعة المنصرف المنفصل. So usually we call it ضمير مرفوع منفصل, ضمير منفصل, ضمير مرفوع منفصل, whatever is easy. Detached. Third person غائب, singular, and هو هما هم, he they. Huma is for dual and hum for these are as it says detached. They're not attached, meaning they're separate from the word that it they're describing. Feminine, hiya, huma, hunna. So this huma and this huma, they're same. Second person hadir, so it's ghaib, hadir, and mutakallim. Anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. You guys know this, but have this distinction. So ana, nahnu, that's mutakallim for the speaker or speakers. These pronouns are most often the subject of a sentence. Usually we begin. Remember back a few pages we said ana yusufun. There's an example, or huwa yusufun, or huma yusufun, or not huma. Yeah, it could be huma too. Or anti fatimatu, hiya zainabu, and so on. These are like the beginner, it's opening words or subject, or mubtada. Hence they're regarded as marfu. They're in the rafa condition. So because they begin, they're the subject of a sentence. It doesn't matter what their ending is, because they're not changing. Anta is not going to change. Anti is not going to change. Huwa is not going to change. They're just not going to change. So because they come in the beginning, they are by default in the marfu status. Nominative case. They are called munfasil because they are pronounced independently. Munfasil because they are detached, separate. Note number 6. Also remember that ana is always pronounced. I was going to say this. Okay. So ana, because noon has a alif at the end and there's a fatha. The rule in tajweed is that if a letter has if a harf has a alif and there's a fatha on top, you're supposed to prolong it by one harf. It should have been ana. Instead, for ana, only for this word, we should always pronounce it as ana, as if there was no second alif. To write it, we have to write this alif over here, but to pronounce it, we cannot pronounce it. We should just pronounce ana without the alif. Exercise number 5, note 7. When speaking, pause, waqf, at the end of the sentences as mentioned in exercise number 1. However, initially continue writing all harakat. So they're saying that when you're going to speak, when we're going to do all these translations and exercises, if we're doing this verbally, then we should do a waqf. We should just stop at the end of the sentences and not read the tanweens at the ends usually. But to write it, for now we should all write it, so just it will be a good habit. Al-waladu qa'imun. So you should read it al-waladu qa'im. The boy is standing. Al-ibnatu jalisatun. The daughter is sitting. Halil waladu qa'im. Is the boy standing? Naam wa qa'im. Yes, he is standing. Number 4. Halil ibnatu qa'ima. Is the daughter standing? La hiya jalisa. No, she is sitting. أهذا الرجل نجار. أهذا الرجل نجار. خباز. Is this man a carpenter or a I forgot, خباز, a bread maker or a chef? هو خباز. He's a bread maker. ما هو بنجار. Oh, okay, so they used ma to negate, and as well they used the ba to negate the predicate, the khabar. ما هو بنجار. أطرفة شاعر. Is طرفة a poet? نعم وشاعر معروف وشاعر معروف. Yes, he is a known poet or a famous poet. هل أنتم خياطون. Are you guys tailors? ما نحن بخياطين بل نحن معلمون. We are not tailors. We are not tailors, but we are teachers. هل هن معلمات. Are they teachers? نعم هن معلمات صالحات. Yes, they are righteous teachers. They being the females. Jama muannas. أنت يوسف العلامة. Are you the very learned scholar Yusuf? أنت يوسف العلامة. Are you the very learned scholar Yusuf? أنا يوسف لكن ما أنا بعلامة. I am Yusuf, but I am not the learned scholar, the very learned scholar. هل زينب معلمة كسلانة. Is Zainab a lazy teacher. لا هي معلمة مجتهدة. No, she is a diligent, or I guess the opposite of lazy, active teacher. هل الحارة نظيفة. هل الحارة نظيفة. Is the section of the city clean. نعم هي حارة نظيفة. Yes, that's a section, that is a clean section. That is a clean section of the city. أليس البقر بحيوان نافع. حيوان نافع. أليس البقر بحيوان نافع. Is not cow a beneficial animal. Is cow not a beneficial, or is the cow not a beneficial animal. بلى البقر حيوان نافع جدا. Why, of course, the cow is a very beneficial animal. إن الكلب. Now we have the rule for inna. So the ism of inna should have fatha in halat al-nasab, and the rest should be left as is. So innal kalba hayawanun harisun. So verily the dog is a guardian or guarding or sentry animal, guardian animal. So this harisun either this is a typo, or over here is the typo. One of them is typo, because I don't know right now if it ends with sin or tha. So let's just say it's sa. So there will be hayawanun harithun. Next one, 14. Innal mar'ata, again mar'ata, from mar'atu it becomes mar'ata over here because of inna, ismu inna. So innal mar'ata as-salihata jalisata. What happened is now inna has two ism. That's why both of them has fatha. Before this, on number right here, I think that was 13, I missed the number. Before here, innal kalba, this was for the kalba over here, this was the only ism, or the only subject. But for this over here, innal mar'ata as-salihata. So innal mar'ata wa inna as-salihata, both of them are subjects. That's why both of them are affected by the inna. So innal mar'ata as-salihata jalisatun, or jalisa. Verily the woman, verily the righteous woman is sitting. Next, 15. Innal mar'ataini as-salihataini jalihatani. Now this is another rule. We have two women. Innal mar'ataini. This is in halat an-nasab. So it transformed basically from mar'atane, because it has inna, it affected the mar'atane, and halat an-nasab became mar'ataini. So innal mar'ataini as-salihataini, both of them. Innal mar'ataini as-salihataini jalisatani. So again, look at this. The last word, it is not touched. It is left as is. But the previous ones, because this the jalisatani, that is the khabar, or the predicate. The mubtada, or the subjects, al-mar'atani, as-salihatani, these two words are affected by the inna. So inna al-mar'ataini as-salihatani, both of these are in halat al-nasab, jalisatani. Last one, 16. Inna al-muallimaini wal-muallimati mujtahiduna. Now, so innal muallimina, actually not muallimaini, innal muallimina wal muallimati mujtahiduna. So now we have same thing with inna, but for jama mudhakkar and jama muannas. So mudhakkar, both of these are salim. This is muallimun, and this over here is muallimatun. So muallimun became muallimani, muallimuna. So that's the jama salim, muallimuna. On the left hand side we have muallimatun, muallimatani, muallimatun. So now that is the female version of the jama. Now because of the inna again, these two subjects, or the muftadas, are in halat al-nasab. So for halat al-nasab, for jama case, from muna it becomes mina, muallimuna becomes muallimina, and muallimatun becomes muallimatin. So innal by default it was, if we didn't have the inna, it would be read like this: al muallimuna wal muallimatu mujtahiduna. The reason for mujtahiduna, because another rule we learned a few pages earlier, that if a jumlatul ismiya has two subjects and they are of different types, one being masculine, the other being feminine, then for the predicate or the khabar, we should take the masculine version of it. So the masculine version of mujtahidun is mujtahidani, mujtahiduna, not mujtahidatun or mustahidat, or the female version of it. So a bunch of rules here. I'm gonna go over this one last time, try to understand and follow along. So without the inna, it would be al muallimuna wa al muallimatu mujtahiduna. Because of the inna, it is inna al muallimina wal muallimati mujtahiduna. So there's muallimati, it becomes mati because it cannot really become, there's no other, it cannot be muallimata. So try to understand here, because for kalba over here number 13 we said that it became innal kalba with fatha on top. That is halat nasab. So that is correct. But for feminine case it's muallimati, not muallimata. And for the masculine jama mudhakkar plural, it is muallimina. So Muna was the original, now it became Mina. So these are the rules, some of the rules or the trends and patterns you just have to memorize. B. Fill in the blanks which represent a subject or predicate with suitable words that you have studied so far. Ad-daru, we could say ad-daru al-akhiratu abqa, something like that. That's ad-daru al-akhiratu, or actually ad-daru, I think so, ad-daru al-akhiratu abqa, maybe mistaken. Let's keep it simple. Ad-daru, the door, actually the house is ad-daru kabirun, you could just say the house is big. Al-waladani as-salihani, so both of these are subject. Al-walid, al-waladani as-salihani. Jalisatani, the two pious boys are sitting. Number 3, al-baitu laysa bikabirin, so al-baitu laysa bikabirin, the house is not big. Kaslanatun, so kaslanatun number 4, it is explaining a female, it is describing something female. So you could say here, you could just keep it simple, hiya kaslanatun, she is lazy. Or you could say like before we learn, we could say Zainabu muallimatun kaslanatun, so we could say number 4, Zainabu muallimatun kaslanatun, Zainab is a lazy teacher. Number 5, halin najjaru, halin najjaru is the painter, the carpenter standing, so we could say halin najjaru qa'imun, ana qa'im. Number 6, ana, I could say the name of yourself, ana so and so, ana muhammadun. Na'am, yes, huwa siddiqun, or huwa whatever, ahmadu, and any name. Or huwa salihun, na'am, he is pious. Huwa rajulun salihun, he is a, na'am, yes, he is a pious man. Huma huma imra'atani salihatani, they are I'm sorry, huma imra'atani, they are two pious women, salihatani. Number 9, halil rajulu kaslanun, is the man lazy. Halil najjaru kaslanun, is the carpenter lazy, and so on. Number 10, halil ibnatu jalisatun am qa'imatun, so halil ibnatu jalisatun am qa'imah, is the daughter sitting or standing. So because it came in a question, it means or. Number 11, alaysa al-kalbu alaysa al-kalbu binafa'in, is not dog beneficial. Okay, so that's 11. Next page, number 12, ashatu Ashatu, the sheep. Ashatu, you could say ashatu, the sheep is weak and the dog is strong, something like that. So ashatu da'ifatun wal kalbu qawiyun. So that's a feminine and this is a masculine. Bala. Bala al-kalbu harisun. Naam, the dog is a guard or a sentry. Al-khayyatu. That's the tailor. Al-khayyatu, just keep it simple. Al-khayyatu, standing. Al-khayyatu jalisun wal-khayyatatu qa'imatun. The lady tailor is sitting, the man tailor is standing. Al-filu ضغط. الفيل حيوان ضخم. The feel is a thick animal. Number 16. هذا الولد كسلان أو مجتهد. Is this boy lazy or diligent? Number 17. المرأة الصادقة. The truthful woman. نائمة. The truthful woman is sleeping. المرأة الصادقة نائمة. إن الرجل or إن المعلم مجتهد. Verily the teacher is diligent. الابنتان, the daughters are laibatani. The daughters are playing. Nakasla natani, that's two feminine. Innal mar'ataini. So it'll be instead of mar'atani, be mar'ataini. Innal mar'ataini kaslanatani. This mujtahidatun, that is the form for jama muannas. So we'll say innal muallimatun. Actually, it'll be innal muallimati. Ta kasra. Innal muallimati mujtahidatun. Innal muallimati mujtahidatun. Verily, the teachers are diligent or hardworking and so on. C. Translate into Arabic. Another translation. Is the boy standing? No, he is sitting. Halil waladu jalisun? La. Huwa qa'imun. Number 2. Is the girl sitting? Halil bintu halil bintu jalisatun? La. Ya qa'imatun. 3. Are the two boys present? Halil waladani hadirani. Are the two boys present? Yes, they are present. Naam. Huma hadirani. Hadirun hadirani. Number 4. Are the two girls honest? Yes, they are honest. Halil bintani sadiqatani. Naam. Huma sadiqatani. Are the two women truthful? I don't know the difference between honest and truthful in Arabic, so I'll use the same word. Halil imra'atani. The women actually. That's a plural. Jama. So it will be halil imra'atan. Halil imra'atun imra'atani imra'atun. Actually, nisa. I will say nisa. Halil nisa'u sadiqatun. Yes, they're truthful. Naam hunna sadiqatun. 6. Is the teacher absent? No, the teacher is present. هل المعلم هل المعلم غائب؟ غائب؟ لا. المعلم حاضر. Number 7. Are they carpenters? هل هم or أهم نجارون؟ No. لا. They are tailors. لا. هم خياطون. Is there Yusuf? أهو يوسف؟ أهو يوسف? Is there Yusuf? Yes, that is Yusuf. نعم هو يوسف. Are you محمود؟ أأنت or هل أنت؟ أأنت محمود؟ نعم. Actually no. لا. أنا حامد. Remember with the أنا it has a noon fatha, but you read it as أنا. Write it as أنا. Next 10. Is this house old? أهذا البيت or أهذا الدار قديم؟ لا. The house is new. هذا البيت جديد. Are they plural feminine seamstresses? No, they are teachers. هل هن or أهن خياطات خياطتان خياطات. أهن خياطات؟ لا. هن معلمات. They are teachers. Number 12. Are you plural male learned or ignorant? That's a very blunt question. Are you plural male? أأنتم معلمون أو جاهلون? We are not ignorant. There's no la over here, but we'll say نحن ما نحن. Oh, okay, I see. So when you use no, it'll be la, but if you don't use the no, you could just negate it with the ba and ma. So ما نحن بجاهلين. So جاهلون جاهل جاهلان جاهلون. So it'll be جاهلين. Again, the answer is we are not ignorant. ما نحن بجاهلين. Number 13. Is not the elephant a great animal? أليس الفيل حيوان عظيم? Why not? بلى. The elephant is a great animal. بلى. الفيل حيوان عظيم. Is the dog standing or sitting? هل الكلب جالس أم قائم? Answer: the dog is not standing, but it is sitting. الكلب الكلب not standing. ليس الكلب ليس الكلب بقائم بل هو جالس. ليس الكلب بقائم بل هو جالس. And that ends lesson number 6. I will see you guys in the next lesson, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.